Hey everybody, Cowboy here. We are starting just a minute or two early today. We have the CPI data coming out in about 2 minutes, and so I wanted to jump right into the content, share the screen. We're going to do a bracket trade today, a very small amount of money, just $100 in each direction, so that way we are not really losing any real money. But in this case, what I've done, as you can see, I've got a buy stop and a sell stop, and that's around price. And then I have this red line, and that's going to be our stop losses. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the brighter lines because my trade station actually shows this data, right? So we'll just kind of get rid of those. Those were demonstrations for before the show. So as the price does seem to be kind of moving up a bit, so I'm going to move my sell stop a little higher. That way, price goes down, I get in. And for the moment, I'm going to float I'm just going to make sure I maintain this kind of distance between my buy stop and my sell stop. Okay. So I'm going to move my stop loss for my sell up just a little bit higher, just a little bit higher. Okay. Looks like oh, there it is. I'm in. Okay. Awesome. My stop loss is now being moved down. Oops. Let me move that back up. Oh, man. Okay. So I got knocked out of my first trade and lost the money, but now we're in the proper direction there. We'll pull our stop loss a little deeper. We're headed north a bit. So that was some nasty price action. I already lost one of the trades. That was just a wick in either direction. That was really nasty. That was beyond normal. I mean, I could have exited the trade immediately and gotten like $40 worth of profit. But this is why I only risked $100. So now I'm about $40 in the red. Price still has to make his decision on which way to go. I'm not looking at the data, but I'm assuming that the data was inconclusive. Like it was probably as expected. Not higher, not lower than normal, because we're not seeing price take a direction. We're just seeing price do stop runs. So that actually was unfortunate. A little bit costly. The move went a little wider than I thought it would go. It went a little farther to either direction than I thought it would go. So, that's just, hey man, it's part of the game when you're going to play brackets. So in a little bit of profit here, price is moving up. And as price really, if I can manage to get price going in this direction in a significant way, then of course I can raise this stop from down here. I pulled it back here just for safety reasons. But clearly the bracket was, maybe a bit too broad, maybe a bit too wide. But then again, if you're going to bracket, that's just the game you play. So let's see what price does here. It's just kind of hanging out in this general area. I'm going to look on a different screen to see what CPI data actually says, because I'm getting the feeling that there wasn't much of a surprise here. We're not seeing price do anything significant. Let's see. CPI, let me refresh. Yeah, of course, CPI as expected. Very little beyond expectation here. So that's why we just saw a bunch of stop runs. And then money kind of entered the market. Market makers went ahead and took out stops, which is unfortunate. Like I said, I was in profit immediately. I guess I could have been quicker on the draw and taken profit as you noticed it. If you look back in the replay, you see it entered my short and it went about $40 in a profit. So about 40% to my target. And then, if I really wanted to, I could have gotten out right then and there. But I did not do that. And I lost $100 for it. And so now we're just going to see, how it goes. I've got my stop that's well below this wick that made its way down. I think the general direction here was up. Yeah, the general direction was up, up against resistance, resistance. So we'll see, if price goes ahead and continues in that direction. So for now, it's just this ended up not being profitable for me. And I don't usually do this kind of thing. I mean, if I were to do this again, I might just quick draw, take the profit. But the problem with today's bracket is that it wasn't a decisive bit of information. Just none of the data didn't come out giving us anything. It wasn't any kind of above or below expectations. So money just kind of rushed into the market to do nothing, and that's why price is doing nothing. Although again, the general direction is bullish in the up against resistance. So I would expect price to just kind of slowly make its way up, if anything, once these jitters are done. So it would be unfortunate if price were to head back down below this kind of deep level and take out my other stop. It'd be very unfortunate, but hey, you want to play news, this is what you get. So I might do this one more time. And if it's not successful, then so this is the problem with bracketing, is that you don't know. You don't know if the data is going to push in a direction or if the data is going to be just a nothing burger, which it was today, right? So if it's a nothing burger, price can just rotate around, grab stops, in and out, whipsaw. If the price means something, then it's another story. You can go in a direction and make some pretty good money. So, and again, there's no way to know what's going to happen. You're always going to have your people who, I don't know, maybe they're going to make their predictions and, oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be that, but you don't know. No one knows. So that's where it is. That's what happened. All right. So, I did tell the gorilla we're going to start a minute or two early to do the bracket thing, and he did say he knew that, so he's around. I don't know if he's here right now. We'll throw on the music, some nice cool chill hop to lick my so far $180 wound, and then I'm going to hang back, just watch this for a minute. I don't see a whole lot of people watching. It's pretty quiet. Let's see here. Yeah. No, it is quiet, man. Speak up, somebody. Like, subscribe, comment. If you're watching this after the fact, give me those like smashes. That's good for our algos. We're trying to make this channel grow a bit. We didn't really, YouTube was kind of a bastard son. We didn't really pay too much attention to trying to grow the YouTube or the socials or anything like that. We had just planned to, get people from our interior marketing, and then of course by, doing some other shows and stuff. And we're now at that point where we're ready to start fanning out all that kind of stuff. So if you want to go ahead and smash the like button and maybe make some comments, whatever, especially if you make comments in the comment section after the video, that would help out the algos. All right. So I hate to kind of leave this alone, but it's not doing anything. It is doing nothing. Doing Nathan. Let's see what the high time frame stuff says on this. I know I said it was like kind of bullish into resistance, but yeah, it's bullish into resistance. The problem is that our 3 hour, our kind of swing trading time frame is gonna be a little bit bumpy right now. So let's see if we can map this out. It's going to be slow today too. That's kind of a bummer because we have some actually what would normally be good, some pretty good price action. We would have what would be a pretty good retracement on the way from a dip on the daily and a move back up. But because we have FOMC and PPI tomorrow, then we may not get any action on that. So it might just take a while for it to happen. But I mean, there's a decent kind of slow move upcoming that should happen, but we may not feel that. This would be a real bummer. But I like to see something like this. Gorilla, what's up, Ming?
Hey, sorry about the lateness, man. I was actually I was arranging a wire, listening to some music, and I was listening to a fellow New Yorker, Mark Ribier, and I lost track of time.
Okay.
It's a funny. There's a funny music that he put out. It's like making trends and stuff, but it's hilarious. This is going to be my official wake up music. I don't know if I
Did you
shared.
say naked trends?
No, not naked trends music, but official wake up music.
Oh no
Where
no, you said it was funny and it was making naked trends is what I heard you
no,
say.
it's making trend. It's like
Oh,
trending.
making trend. I think you said naked trance. I'm like, I mean,
Yeah,
that sounds
I
cool,
want to
bro. I'm
play.
not judging. I'm not judging.
No, no,
You know what I'm
no.
saying?
I
Consenting adults. You know what
I
I'm
want
saying?
to play the official Mark Ribier wake up music. This is
Oh, I
like
know Mark
definitely. I think.
Rebier. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
know. I
think.
know exactly. I've been following Mark Rebier for like 3 or 4 years. I know him real
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and I know the wake up too. See, that guy's fucking crazy.
Let's pull the wake up in. Let's get everybody pumped up.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Let's do the wake up. I'm gonna do a screen share.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch.
Yeah, here we go. All right, I'm pulled into the thing.
Let
You
me
can kill the
unshare.
background music. Kill the
Kill
background
the
music.
background music.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, he'll just show up in the middle of like the Bronx and
Yeah,
like start doing
and
shows.
just
He's cool.
yep, yep. Ready? Here we go. Yeah,
He's improv. He does everything on the fly.
yeah. I know. It's incredible.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and get the guy go on. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up, get up.
There you go. Wake up.
Yeah, my cousins found him early. Like during the pandemic is when I started looking at that dude. And of course, he's pandemic. Everybody's just like staying at home doing their thing. And that guy, talented as hell. My cousin said it right though. He's got the jankiest swag, dude. It's
Love it. Love
yeah,
it,
he's got
dude.
janky swag, but the dude's got some real talent, man.
He does, and all those beats he makes from scratch.
Scratch.
Like he'll
Yeah, he
tap a
just throws it all
spoon,
together.
record himself tapping a spoon, then he's like scratching a pencil, then he just puts it all together. And it's just a beat. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, you see him using a sampler and some other prefab beats, but he does it on the fly like that.
He does it on the fly.
All those beats he does it scratch on the fly. Like I said, he'll set up a table in the middle of like whatever Queens, and he'll just like on a corner somewhere. Yeah, he's a beast. But they've had him live on shows. He flows, like he can actually freestyle really well. And he's been getting buffed too, man. I remember I first started watching him 3 years ago or whatever, and he was just kind of like this whatever dude. And now he's all like, lifting weights and doing big shows, and I'm sure he's meeting girls and so on. But good for him, man. And yeah, that wake up video has become viral in like the last few months.
Yeah. It's ideal.
So no, it's good. Yeah, that's I probably should have shown him to you earlier. Yeah. He's I know you like them, your fellow New Yorkers.
Yep. Yeah, Ribier is great.
Yeah, Red Dog Ribier, Marc Ribier.
Marc Ribier, he's on the French origin, Ribier.
Yes, you have to have him talk to Matthew Herret and have the conversation.
Oui.
Dude. That's cool, man. I
got a hell of a Raging Ape lined up for today. It's gonna be
nice. You gotta
funny.
I want his opinion on the show. You weren't around last Thursday, but I did a show. It's Myron Fagan who does like this too. I don't know if you know who Myron Fagan is or was.
Myron
Fagan. Yeah, he did. I did like half the show was on this, and basically he talks about the origin of the CFR. He takes it all the way back to Rothschild and all that stuff, and he's it's kind of at times simplistic. He kind of only talks about, for the most part, Rothschild. He'll talk about other families, the Warburgs, and things like that. He talks about how these families changed their names, and but it's like the original old school Illuminati who he talks about. And then, of course, as the Illuminati kind of got exposed in the whatever 1800s, they had to kind of go under other names. But people still talk about the Illuminati when in reality they're talking about something I think a bit more complex. So he lines it out, but there's some things that he says that I think Matthew might take some, like take issue with, like certain, like, for example, he doesn't like Roosevelt. He thinks Roosevelt was part of the problem.
Yeah.
I know Matthew likes FDR.
Well, I mean, if Roosevelt was a problem, why'd they kill him, right? And why did they?
But
And why did they bury? See, the thing is this: it's like I don't know how to put this, and I've explained this a few times.
By the way,
world-
full disclosure, I got out of the bracket was a disaster, but of course I only put a couple $100 on it. It's not a big deal, but the reason the bracket was a disaster was because it was a no news. It was a nothing burger. Everything was as expected, so price just rolled around and took out everybody's stops, so I fell prey to that. But that's just what happens when you bracket. So it's a gamble. So anyway, I did that live and you missed it because you were playing around with your buddy Mark. But what were you going to say about FDR?
I was not doing that.
You're listening to your naked trans music, dude.
So
there we go. The truth comes out. Exit. Stage left.
Exit. Yes. Yes.
That's like the original gay 70s Hanna-Barbera Snaggletooth cartoon.
I love Snaggletooth.
Snaggletooth was cool, man.
No, Snagglepuss.
Snagglepuss, you're right.
Yeah.
Snaggletooth is like a Skoongalata. Like Snaggletooth is like somebody who's lost their teeth.
Yeah. Snagglepuss.
Yeah, Skoongalata. You just got some Italian right there. Exit. Stage left. Exactly. I busted out Skoongalata, man. You got to talk to your wife. She probably knows what Skoongalata means.
She probably does. I don't understand all these terminologies.
These Italian terminologies.
I don't get it.
Anyway,
I found something unique. I'll share with that on when I do the Raging Ape.
Oh, okay. You found like unique to what?
I think it's entertaining. I'll explain later. I don't want to spoil. Boy, you always want me to spoil things.
Yeah, I would love to hear Matthew Errett's opinion on Myron Fagan. I guarantee you, Matthew's already heard the whole thing, read the whole thing.
Of course.
Myron basically he did what was called like the Red Watch or the Red Scare, the Communist Watch. It's basically back in like anywhere from like the 30s to the 50s. He was doing these recordings and books about hey, you got to watch out for these people. Basically these are the communists who want to ruin us.
Yes.
Which is fine. Now his history is maybe what Matthew might disagree with to a degree, but what was going on at the time seems like he knew. He really calls him out. Like I'd imagine what he said is 80% accurate, just on the little that I know of things. But Matthew would be able to take this thing and really, really look at it, and probably already has.
Yeah.
So
yes, probably dissected it already, my friend.
What I'll do is I'll just if you ask him, hey, what do you think of Myron Fagan and his, and who he thinks is bad and good or whatever in the Illuminati. If you just asked him that, Matthew would probably talk for like 30 minutes,
Yeah, exactly.
All right, anyway. So yeah, that was fun. Lost freaking, a couple $100, whatever. Lost a third of a car payment. So that's cool. I'll make it back later. And today, like this is kind of in a way like a day like today. It's like your only option to trade because it's just. I mean, you're gonna have PPI. That was CPI, which was a nothing burger. PPI probably be another nothing burger, and then you're gonna have CPI. So and if CPI is nothing burger, you're gonna have that same thing where a lot of money that was sitting on the sidelines is just gonna enter the market and just cause price to to go haywire. Like, let me see if I can show y'all. Yeah, well, they had Mark Rebele on like Sway, in the morning. Like Sway is like I think this morning show, but it's just it's a hip hop show, and he went on there and like straight up like freestyle with these guys, and he's multi-talented individual, man.
Yes,
but yeah, you can see how price was bullish up against resistance, right? So it just added volatility to the market. And you can see this that right there. When you see a candle like this, that's nasty. That right there is pure market maker bullshit. Because your actual price is the candle body, like where it entered and exited, and everything in between is just them effing around. That's all that is. So I mean, if I were to have widened out the brackets, that might have been just as bad, because what if it wasn't a nothing burger and it just entered my trade and then went right back out? So it's not like, oh well, I did it this way this time and I do it that way that time. And I mean, your best bet almost would be to have tighter brackets and then just exit as soon as you're in profit and kill all the other trades. You gotta be super super quick on that shit. But this is gross. This candle right here, that's disgusting. But that's just that's how you do it. So I just wanted to demonstrate to everybody what a bracket is. Watch it live. I didn't expect necessarily to win or lose. I kind of expected to break even, maybe lose, maybe win a little. It wasn't something that I expect to profit on. But at the same time, that's why I don't bracket. That's why I don't really trade news, just for that reason. That's the exact reason why I don't do it. But I figured y'all might like to see a bracket. And sometimes you win. It's kind of like throwing the dice. So in a couple $100, fuck it, who cares? It makes for good YouTubes. All right. So anyway, let's see. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin. We are going to look at the Bitcoin now. We are going to bring it up on the chart. Okay. Yeah. So uh, short term, very short term, the energy is actually still a little bit bearish. So we could see the Bitcoin take a dump. Let me just go over to this algo. And then let me remove the drawings. And okay, good. So I think short term price is going to either stay where it is, maybe go down a tad, but honestly, I mean, the same thing applies that I've been talking about this whole time, right? So right now we're in a world where there is kind of a short term downward movement favor. So let me get a liquidity map out and I'll spin to win in a minute. Most money is sitting at 43.7. So there's a lot of people have gone short, and that is a pretty good indicator the price will actually head upwards in the short term. Okay, so we'll go to a chart that's like on maybe the 3 hour or something. 30 minutes good. So 43.7 is where, look, people went short and they put their stop losses up here because of structure. So essentially you have stop losses kind of hanging out like right here. So people are short. People think price is going to go down in a big way. If you look at the liquidity, right, there's a really good chance it'll pop up and grab this before it goes down that much more. Now, again, the short term, if you look at the, say, okay, so 3 hour favors a move up at, honestly, the 18 hour is favoring a move down, but it's starting to meet some support. And then the daily, the 5-day, which is my weekly, is basically, it's kind of just, it wants to go up, but it's taking a break, right? So the move down may come, but I think it's possible, even if a move down was pending, like price may still go up to grab liquidity up here. Because look, price dipped down to 40, right? And when it did, like this sort of 40,100, 39,100, that's actually the area, 38, 39. That's still there, but they're just not anywhere near compared to what happened here. So I don't know if some of the 38, 39s got taken off, or the new amount of liquidity is so huge that it dwarfed this liquidity that was already there. I'm not paying attention to the numbers right now. Because if you look on the little display there, you have each one of these kind of little candles, if you will. Let me stretch this out. So you've got, sitting in this area, you got what 76 million, 99 million. So that's about 175 million, 150, 250 million. to 325 million, 330 million, and then you have a little bit more, maybe 350, and then you go up to like this area. So there's about 60, 70, 35. So about 500 million all in this area. Is that right? Millions of dollars. Oh yeah, it's leverage. So that makes sense. And then you have just, I don't know, let's say 500 million. Well, here you got 40, 38. So 130 plus another 2. That's like, you're already up to like 400 right there, maybe 330. Now you're up to 500. Now you're up to 700. Now you're up to 900. 1,000, a billion, 1.3, 1.5 billion. So you're upwards at a 2 billion right here, which dwarfs this over here. So there's a lot more liquidity sitting here now. Before, was there this same amount? That's what I'm not sure of. I didn't catalog how much liquidity was there. So we don't know if, as price moved down, if people took off their longs, they panicked out, something like that, because there was a lot of liquidity sitting at 30, and it's still there at 38-ish, 39-ish, right? So, I mean, we don't want to say it's not there. And if price prefers a move down, it might actually take it out, right? And there's a little bit above and below. So it's not to say that that liquidity is not there, but you have a lot more stronger liquidity up here. It's just a tighter zone, so it looks smaller, but it's actually bigger. So, that to say, if price heads down, it might move up before it does. So this is where, price is going to be attracted in either direction, and we kind of have to pay attention to what's happening on the algos. For the moment, again, we're going to see low volatility the next few days probably. We can see volatility dropping on the daily. It's going up on the weekly, but that's a very slow process. We have volatility leveling off on the swing trade timeframes, dipping on the 30-minute very low. So next couple days might not see anything. It's just going to depend on, if you have low volatility, the only reason the price moves is if the market makers want it to move, because retail at this point is impotent. So, all you really have is your algo, and with a low volatility, you're looking at a consolidation. And until this consolidation ends, we may not be able to tell which direction price will take. And this is a consolidation on the 3-hour. That can take days. But you do have a range. The range is kind of building like right here. You could probably limit it here, go to a lower time frame to redefine that, or at least refine that range. I got that Mark Riblet in my head now. There's a like a crypto Twitter guy that puts that Mark Riblet on all the time. It's pretty funny. That particular wake up song. But yeah, so just got a basic range building, and again, you have ADX now below 20. This is the ADX that was it Trev? Did you make this? I think you did, right? You coded this, you recoded somebody's faulty first order derivative trade. Derivative ADX, but it's below 20. The center line is 20. Let's make this easier to see, the center line. Make it white, and we will make it, where's my options? I want it to be a dashed line. Guess I don't have that option. I thought I would. Well, that's fine. It's cool. Let's make it yellow then. This is going to be a solid line. Okay. So again, below 20, hanging out, this red line is your ADX. So now if that pops above, then we might have some clues as to when this might break out and how it might break out. But for now, it's going to chill. So quiet time on Bitcoin. No, Trev, it looks good. I really like it. I've been studying it, seeing if I could take advantage of it the past few days. Let me explain to people a little bit. So if you want to understand first order derivative, if you want to get the sort of quick and dirty explanation of calculus in a way, speed, let's just say that speed is your base calculation, right? It's because it's not. It's actually distance is your base calculation. So your first dimension is going to be location. Second dimension is going to be distance. Third dimension is going to be speed. Fourth dimension is going to be acceleration. So So velocity equals distance times time. Okay. That's speed. Acceleration. Spelled that right. I don't think I did. I think it's just 1L. Acceleration equals velocity times time, right? So acceleration is a change in velocity. Velocity is a change in distance, right? Over time. So that you're looking right now. So distance is kind of the start. Okay. Is it distance over time? Shit. My physics escapes me. I think is it times time, distance times time, or distance over time? I'm screwing up here. Let's just say distance relates to time, and we'll freaking pretend that I'm not losing my high school physics memory. I'm gonna have to look it up now, so I actually don't piss off my high school physics teacher. Velocity I think it's distance over time. I think it's distance divided by time, but we'll see. Velocity is for sure is S over T. Change in position over time, which is speed is a scalar quantity. Oh, come on, make this easy for me. Displacement vector. Okay, it's really getting like way too stupid. Distance over time. Yeah, okay. Distance over time. All right, folks. All right, the point here, I don't want to like miseducate my high school shit here, but when you look at like you keep dividing by time essentially, right? And you get the change in velocity over time as acceleration. So if you're going 30 miles an hour, right? And then you start to move up to 50 miles an hour, the speed at which you move to 50 miles an hour, that's your acceleration. So that's a derivative. And so you can say like this is accelerating, that like this area. Let me delete that. And this might help some of the maybe thinkers understand this a little bit better. So the red line is going to be your change in distance, right? Your velocity. And it's kind of going faster, and then it starts to go slower right here. And now it's not going. Now it's going backwards, and then now it starts to go faster, right? That's your velocity. Well, as this is going faster, it's also going faster, right? So when you mash the gas pedal in your car and you go like 0 to 60, you can get 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, or you can get 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. And the difference is your acceleration. You're accelerating faster, you're going to get 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. If you accelerate more slowly, 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. And this purple line is measuring that acceleration. So as this is heading up, this red line's still heading up, but it starts to head up more slowly as the purple line starts to go down. So it tells you kind of the future of, it's slowing down. It's still moving in a positive direction, but it's not moving as quickly. And when something is not moving as quickly in a given direction, it's telling you it might turn around, and it's telling you it might turn around early. And that's actually what the VIX is. The VIX in the stock market, the volatility, and there's a VIX and there's a VVIX. And the VVIX is the change in the VIX, and the VIX is the change in volatility. So it's the same concept.
The VVIX was actually invented by me. I just want to let
Oh, well, yeah. So yeah, so this in a sense, like if you're able to wrap your head around the thinking, and I know it's kind of a lot, and I sort of messed up on my equations here for a second, but I fixed them. So if you ignore that first part, but if you look at distance over time, velocity over time, and if you understand that this is the change in acceleration where it's actually still going in a positive, like it's going faster and faster, but it's doing it at a slower rate, then you understand how, okay, like if you're going to turn around, first you have to stop, right? So price is heading up, or the ADX is headed up, right? Now it's going to change directions, but first it has to slow down to do that. It's got to go faster in a slower fashion, and that's where you see like the velocity decreasing right here. So it's still moving up, just more slowly, and this tells the future like, okay, now it's turning this way, right? So this is what first order derivatives are good for. So anyway, that's like a high level conversation. I do apologize if I just broke some heads. I know this is supposed to be the beginner live lab, but and again, it's almost like you don't need to know so much about it, because what you need to know is this turns before that a lot of the time. That's kind of all you need to know. It's this turns before that a lot of the time. Like you can look at this and say, oh, well, it peaked out here and then this changed. So the purple moved before the red moved. That's if you want to keep it super simple for the beginners here. The purple moved and then the red moved. Or like when the purple crosses the red, it's what we would call an inflection point in math and statistics. But yeah, when like the purple crosses a red, that's actually probably a point you want to look at, especially if it crosses the red, perhaps above the 20. So, and even if you don't know this stuff, if you look at the chart and if you kind of look at every time purple crosses red on the way up, then you might be able to discern, oh, well, price does a certain thing. Every time purple crosses the red on the way up, then price does this, right? That's how we actually develop algos without being like super, mathy about it. So anyway, that took us about 5 minutes over. This is a crazy, this is kind of a crazy fun, intro. If you're watching this and you're kind of new to Algo Factory, don't worry. It's not that complex all the time. I just started to dork out on some basic calculus. And I was kind of proud of our man, Trevor, who actually corrected somebody's code and built this indicator on the bottom. And you don't have to know any of that stuff. You want to be part of Algo Factory. That's not the level of knowledge you need to know, but it's fun to talk about if you're a dork like I am. Sway in the morning. That's right. Cool Cat knows what's up. So Mark Rebele, Sway in the morning. But anyway, that's it. That again, we went over. So Gorilla, if you could kind of take us out of here, and I'll stop babbling my physics dorkness.
All right, you racists. Listen, don't sit there and
math is racist.
All right, you racist. Listen, you want to be an ultra racist far right winger? Join us at Algo Factory, where we do racist things like math and trading and teaching you how to make money. We're all racist things, man.
We're racist.
Right? And I can say that because I'm a person of color. So there.
You are, yeah.
Yeah.
You're a BIPOC.
If you're a white liberal, you're listening to my voice the first time. Don't get your panties in a bunch, even if you're a dude. I am a person of color.
I was drinking, man. I was drinking my coffee when you said that, you dick.
Sorry. Anyway, join us, algofactory.tech. Don't leave money on the table. 2024 is here, bitches. Don't enter another year broke and famished and wondering what's going to happen with my life. Join algofactory.tech. Take your financial life by the balls. Learn how to trade. Learn how to build algorithms. We show you how, man. We show you how it's all done. Join us and make some money for yourself. Get yourself in a better position going into 2024 than not. Okay? So with that being said, Cowboy, take us away.